Vietnam is probably the spotlight in the fight against COVID pandemic. Many people suppose it is a miracle, but miracle is the fruit of the tireless and ceaseless efforts of the party leaders, the state, departments and all Vietnamese citizens. Although it is not the final victory, in the spirit of fighting against epidemics like fighting against enemies, Vietnam has divided into different stages and has won every stage so far. The world media lauded Vietnam's healthcare system, which was not modern and tight budget, but the efficiency against COVID-19 was highly appreciated. Deputy Prime Minister Vu Duc Dam said today Vietnam people's life is the dream of many people in many countries in the world. So what factors make this victory? Let's find out. The first thing to mention is the entire political system. Drastic directions of the party and the state take the initiative in the fight. From the beginning, Vietnam has chosen the right attitude to treat the disease, the determination not to neglect and ignore. On March 30, 2020, General Secretary and President Nguyen Phu Trong appealed all the citizens to unite in the fight against epidemic. Responding to the appeal, Vietnam people are always in the position of every citizen as a soldier, willing to fight epidemic in all aspects with intense faith, and join hands with the party and the state. Vietnam is also the first country to apply the obligated health declaration for foreigners entering Vietnam from pandemic-hit zones and the world. At the first disease's outbreak moment, the government has ordered measures to prevent and counter the spread of the disease into our country. For example, social distancing, quarantine and restricted outside. Organizations and associates on entire world assessed that Vietnam's measures were very accurate, responded promptly, very resolute and the highest economic efficiency because the total cost for prevent the epidemic is lower than other countries in the world many times until today. We have a team of physicians, so-called white-shirted soldiers in the front line against epidemics. Vietnamese medicine is still the pride of all populace. With the effort of day and night, and well-being hesitate to get infected and strain themselves to find the most suitable clinical guidelines for each COVID-infected patient. Thanks to the dedication of the medical staff, after more than 6 months of resisting the epidemic, Vietnam has treated 326 cases out of 349 cases, which is praiseworthy so far. Vietnam has not had deaths because COVID-19. It can be said that it is pride, gratitude and is considered to be the most successful in this anti-epidemic campaign. Vietnamese for the People's Army, the People's Police and many other functional forces, especially the military ones, always work in the spirit of serving populace. Thousands of soldiers were lying in the forest, guarding the path along the borderline, leaving the barracks to the isolated people. From the lasting rainy days to the money is like a fire. The gratitude that goes hand in hand with their responsibility has left emotional stories and contributed to the victory in this pandemic. Vietnam strengthens surveillance at every level with the motto of walking every lane, knocking on every house to detect and screen infected people. Create quick response teams. In any area where the disease occurs, immediately localize the epidemic and treat it there with the support of superior health. Vietnamese people seriously wear masks and antiseptic their hands in public places and in crowded places to minimize cross-contamination in the community. Enterprises and economic units, they have voluntarily accepted losses of immediate benefits to join hands with the state to fight epidemics. Despite many difficulties, but they are still in the spirit of we are together in time of plenty as in time of dearth. Some businesses apply provisional solutions such as for employees to work shifts to reduce wage costs, shift from one kind of undertaking to another to overcome some of these difficulties for businesses as well as workers. The communication in Vietnam also contributed to the victory of the battle against COVID-19. Vietnam has raised several slogans having motivated and instructed people to voluntarily follow, such as being at home is patriotic, or messages from doctors like we go to work for you, please stay at home for us. Understanding that spirit, the Vietnamese people have joined hands to restrict travel and protect themselves to reduce the burden on the health sector. In addition, the propaganda and foreign information activities have been carried out proactively and synchronously, creating widespread effects and widely recognized and appreciated by the international community. The last thing is the people of Vietnam are wonderful. That is the compliment and thanks from Deputy Prime Minister Vu Duc Dam to the whole Vietnamese people after the pandemic. The sacrifices of Vietnamese people are aroused. The leaves protect tattered ones in the tough time. Every citizen, classes of people, depends on his or her ability. The person who has money to contribute money, the person who has in-kind contribution to the artifact, the person who has the power to help, the person who has the idea to contribute ideas. The inn has reduced or exempted the rent for workers, the rice ATMs were invented to help the poor and the affliction, or the masks were distributed free of charge in public places. Many agencies, units, organizations, businesses, individuals inside and outside the country, our compatriots abroad, with deep feelings and responsibilities, have actively participated in supporting the prevention and control of COVID-19. In the condition of modest national resources, an active and responsible member of the international community, Vietnam has also expressed its deep understanding and sympathy and is making every effort, practical cooperation efforts, timely cooperation with other countries, especially those affected by COVID-19 pandemic. Vietnam knows itself, knows us, knows the complexity and seriousness of a disease, so it is not subjective. Each step was tense in vigilance, but extremely drastically. When the world in one place or another is still unprepared, hesitates to choose between health protection and economic problem, Vietnam is ready to take action. Vietnam was more or less unanimous. The government took the people as the root, the team of dedicated doctors and humanitarian medicine were everywhere. For these reasons, I believe that Vietnam will soon completely win this epidemic. And we are proud of this S-shaped country. Please leave your thoughts about our beloved country below the comments.